Yo, what's going on YouTube, man? Welcome back to another video, man. Look, in today's video, I want to talk about life as a free agent, right? I want to talk about some of the stuff I went to when I was looking for a club. If you already follow me on Instagram, you already know that, look, I signed for a new club, but I want to talk about some of the stuff I went through, right? When I was looking for a club, and some of the stuff a lot of players go through during the off season where they're a free agent and they're looking for a club, all right? So look, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe right now and watch the whole video, man. Let's go.
First thing make I introduce me, I be Mr. Money. I'm a look back.
Alright guys, so let's talk about life as a free agent, right? So I'm gonna try to keep this video not too long, right? As short as I can, probably like under 10 minutes, right? But let's talk about life as a free agent, right? So during the off season, you're a free agent, you're looking for a club, you don't have a club. A lot of players go through this. It can be very stressful, right? So let's talk about me in general. So last year, I went to San Antonio. I went to San Antonio in the middle of the season, right? In my head, look, I'm gonna get to San Antonio, I'm gonna crush it, I'm gonna have a contract for next year, or I'm gonna have a bigger contract somewhere else next year. That's the plan for every player when you go into a new club or your plan is to go crush it. So I get to San Antonio in the middle of the season last year. Thing didn't go as well, right? They didn't go as planned, and I did the best I could, and then season was over, right? Season was done, and that was like my last stretch of my contract, right? So I don't have no guaranteed contract for next year, none of that, right? So here I am in the off season, but even way before the season was done at San Antonio, right? Just by the way your season is going, I could already tell, like, look, I'm not coming back here next year. They're not signing me next year. I already knew I was not coming back to San Antonio next year. Like way before the season was done, I already knew I'm not coming back to San Antonio next year, right? So now I gotta start thinking like, what's my next move, right? So I go during the off season with no club, right? No club. Nobody wanted me for next year, which is this year, 2024. Nobody wanted me for this year, and I'm just working, right? I'm just training, just waiting for something to happen, in contact with my agent. And this is what a lot of players go through, right? It's stressful because now, like, you don't know where you're gonna be next year. You don't know where money's gonna be coming from next year, right? You don't have a home for next year. You don't have a job for next year. This is your passion. This is all you know. You just know soccer. This is all you know. So it's like, where am I gonna be next year, right? Something about me is that, like, I never really panic, right? I never really panic. I knew I was gonna find somewhere to be this season, right? I knew I was gonna sign somewhere. I didn't really panic. I was seeing a lot of players getting signed here, players getting signed here. I was in contact with my agent almost every day or every other day, right? He would tell me like, hey, I reached out to this club. I haven't heard anything back from them. This club said they're not interested. This club said they will look into you. We just have to wait and see what happened, right? So as time goes on, you're stressing now, it's getting close to preseason, like you're stressing and all that. But let me talk about how I was able to, sign with this team where I'm at right now, which is Memphis 901, right? So during my off season, like I said, I was not tripping at all. I just kept training, right? I just kept training and I was just hoping something would open up. I was hoping the team would be interested or something like that, right? This is where a lot of players give up, right? This is where a lot of players give up during the off season, right? There's so many times where I played with a teammate last year, right? And then the following year, they don't have a contract, or they just retire either because they want to, right? Or either because they can't find a contract anywhere else, right? This is so common in the USL. You play 1 year with a player and the next year they're just done. They're just not playing anymore, right? But that's because, like while waiting for a contract, right? A lot of players get into other stuff, right? They get into other stuff, whether they get a job or, they go back to school or they get into something else, right? And then by the time they realize, they're like, look, it's not worth it going back, on a USL contract, or it's not worth it like signing on that contract. I already find something I'm doing right now, which is possibly paying me more than what soccer was gonna pay me either way. So like they just get locked in and then they just never come back, right? But that's what I'm saying. It's really stressful, right? It's really stressful. There's a lot of ups and downs through this offseason. You just got to be very, very patient, right? You got to be very, very patient and just not believe that it was going to happen. So my agent was hitting up a lot of clubs, right? Nobody was responding. You know, they wasn't interested. You know, a lot of people were saying we'll look into them and see what happened, right? So luckily, look, we hit up Memphis, right? We hit up Memphis 901, and things just happened so quick, right? Things just happened so quick. Keep in mind, I didn't play a lot of games at San Antonio, right? I didn't play a lot of games. Probably played like less than 5 games or something like that. I don't know, right? But I knew what I could bring to the table. I know what I could bring to the table. I know, like, look, if a team is interested in me, I know what I could bring to the table next season, right? I know what I could do. So luckily, we hit up Memphis 901, and within a week, right, everything started going fast, right? This is me 2 months ago, right? Not knowing where I want to be, right? Not knowing where I was going to be next year. Not knowing what team is going to pick me up. And then within a week, everything started wrapping up. You know, I got on a call with the coach. I got on a Zoom call. You know, they was fully interested in me, right? This is just to say that, look, this game, right? This game of soccer, this game of, you know, professional soccer, it's a gamble, especially at this level. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a gamble, right? It's a gamble. You might be in contract this season. You might not be in contract next season. There's a lot of players out there looking for a contract right now, right? And it's like, as hard as it is to get your first contract, it's also so hard to keep your contract, right? It's also so hard to stay in the game, stay in the league. It's also so hard. So we hit up Memphis, right? They respond, you know, they're like, hey, look, we actually interested in Tulu. You know, we watching him since he was at Hartford, right? So once they say that, and once they like, look, you know, let's try to get on a call with him and you know, see where his head at and see if he's also interested in coming to Memphis. At that point, look, I ain't gonna lie to you, I ain't had no other options, right? I ain't had no other options. I couldn't pass on this option. We got on the phone right away, you know, was talking, you know, talking about the club, talking about the coach interest in me, and, you know, also, you know, how the club presents itself and everything like that. So right after that, we started wrapping things up quick, and I ended up signing with Memphis. But, you know, the more of this video is just to say that, look, life as a footballer, especially when you're a free agent, it is very stressful, right? It could lead to people quitting, right? It leads to people quitting and because they don't want to wait, or they're not patient, or they just feel like, look, this is not worth it, you know what I'm saying? Or it's just like, you could be good, and then you just no team will even pick you up or look your way, you know what I'm saying? It's tough, man, especially when you don't have a club, nothing guaranteed, right? So, like I said, as hard as it is to sign your first contract, it's also so hard to stay in the game and stay in the league and keep that contract, right? So if you do get a chance, to sign your first pro contract, I'm telling you, bust your ass up, man. Bust your ass up, because nothing's guaranteed. Especially if you don't have a 2-year contract, a 3-year contract, you will be stressing during the off season, right? You will be stressing during off season unless you had a phenomenal season. You know what I'm saying? If not, you will be struggling during the off season. The off season for me was stressful, but I'm a guy that I don't really like to stress. You know what I'm saying? I believe in faith. I believe that, look, if this is meant for me, it will come. If it's not, if it's my time to leave the game, then it is. You know what I'm saying? It is. I will leave the game. You know what I'm saying? But I was looking at different options, man. I was looking at different options. I was even looking at going overseas, but I just had faith, man. But yeah, well, I did sign with Memphis 901. I'm currently in Memphis right now, ahead of the 2024 season. And look, if y'all don't follow me on Instagram, make sure you do that right now to just keep up with the news, you know, all the updates and all that. But I will be posting on YouTube on a regular, right, on a weekly basis. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe as well. Subscribe to this channel, just to stay up to date. You know, turn on your notifications, stay up to date. But I'm telling you right now, man, life as a free agent can be very stressful. All right, make sure you guys subscribe, and I'm gonna catch you guys on the next video, man. Let's go.